Welcome to the escape pod.
Dude, it'll be our one-off.
Okay, we're live.
Hopefully not our.
I'm gonna pull up the stream on my phone.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. I should do that too, cause I apparently there's like chat on the last couple of podcasts, and I just did not.
You just ignored
Yeah, we're
everybody.
live. Sweet.
You ignored everybody.
Yeah, I just ignored everybody, so I'm gonna pull that up as well. What's the link I can use?
Twitch.tv/EBCO esports.
Yo, on the overlay, Albert, can you like put Hunty Wilso parentheses Hunter since
yeah.
that's my IGN?
I got you.
Yeah. Ooh, dude, you know what? If this swing was a little lower, this would look sick.
Dude,
I know,
I'm trying to get
but I
like
sold off the
my
internet.
jacket not to look so scrunched up.
Our Hunty Wilso.
It's okay. Nobody's watching. Who gives a shit?
Look at fucking Albert with the blue.
I see him. Can you
background.
can you put a space in between Hunty and Wilso? I know I'm not trying to be too. I know that sounds picky, but shouldn't be hard to fix.
Understandable. Be right back.
That sounded so pompous.
Oh my god. Yeah, I had no idea. I was like, bro. I was like, damn, this guy's getting in.
All right. Okay.
This dude's letting he's developing a podcast ego.
Dude, I hope we can cut this when we post the VOD.
What do you mean?
Honestly, I don't care. This is like genuine, entertaining content in my eyes.
I guess you know what, that is the point of this. So we'll just leave it.
Dude, I love this little turtleneck I'm wearing. It's so cozy.
Okay. You feeling cool? I'm quiet.
I'll turn you up.
Is my volume really quiet?
Is he actually?
Can you guys hear me fine?
Wait, I'm gonna get my boys to hop in the stream.
Oh,
Oh
no.
yeah. You know what? Fuck it. Will you? Oh,
Where the?
I'll do the everyone, bro. I'll do the announcement.
Wait. YouTube did switch, right? Okay.
Oh wait, Jake's already got it.
Wait, Jake's in?
No, Jake already sent out a ping.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, no, that was a while ago. Yeah, that's November 24th. Hold on.
So, as usual, welcome to the podcast. Just being janky as usual.
Hold on, boys. Apparently, my voice is relative to Hunter's voice is just small or like quiet. So I'm just gonna raise that a little. Do you guys notice the difference in my voice?
No difference.
All right. Well, I'm hoping that is a difference.
I lifted you like 25% on Discord.
Oh, someone in the chat said they could hear a difference.
You know what?
Oh, now it's better. They said now it's better. We're
Boom.
chilling, we're
All right,
chilling.
Turbo, I got you.
Okay.
Yo, we're doing...
So yeah, start it whenever you're ready, Paul. Or if everything's good on your end, Albert,
Everything's
I'm ready
chilling.
to get rolling.
Everything's chilling right now. We're doing good. I have to change the shit, but it's fine. Okay. So, prefix. This is a lost episode of the satellite. Not really a formal episode per se, but we're gonna.
Nah, dude, we're tired of that satellite shit. So we got on an escape pod and we got the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
We're done
on a
with
new
that.
adventure.
Is
now.
this like
Time
the
for
scene?
some fucking...
Is this like the scene from Alien? We're like trying to run away from all the bullshit esport news. We're like trying to get
Dude,
into
yeah,
the
yeah.
escape pod.
You go to the satellite for relevant esports talk. Come to the hot drop. That's what we should call it. The hot drop. The hot drop.
All right. We'll come up with a name for it eventually. But
Yeah.
Nevertheless, this is a runoff episode that we're just looking to have fun with. I'm pretty sure. A little unorthodox, more discussion like structured, but yeah. Well, Paul, do you want me to get into it?
Dude, you had the idea, my guy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, I mean, one thing to note is that First Strike was today, and it sounds like you haven't listened to it, Paul, but or watched it. But,
Hey! I thought we were gonna talk about something else, and I wasn't ready for the Valorant talk. And I think we are gonna take viewer questions, right? Right, Hunter?
What?
Dragon Dog is like, "Are you taking viewer questions?" And
Yeah, we could take viewer
well.
questions.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, First Strike was today. Envy played Immortals 1-2-0. TSM played Renegade, I think, and they also 1-2-0. Super exciting stuff. I mean, they lived up to expectations. Tomorrow, I believe, FaZe is playing 100 Thieves, and then Sentinels is playing some other team I'm not sure about. But yeah, like it's looking super exciting. All the teams are pretty competitive, and just something to note, like TSM was super dominant.
Yeah, no, I mean, their game against Renegades, which was the only thing I sort of kept up with, the scoreline was overall 2-0 with a match score of fucking 13-1.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, against Renegade. I swear, Renegades versus TSM. We're doing this. My fingers can't type fast enough. Yo, dude, it's that's what it's looking like, man. 0-1.
Yo, Paul, we got a question in the chat. Dragon
Dog.
I know this guy. His name is Michael. He says thoughts on TSM as a team. How do you feel about Wardell's performance? Also, thoughts on replacing Sova for Sky?
No,
these are loaded questions.
No, okay,
yo,
no.
yo,
I'm gonna fucking okay. Sky is okay. Replacing a Sova is very hard to justify. It's actually like it's really hard to justify, and also trying to replace him for a Sky is kind of iffy. Sky is good. We can all agree Sky has a level of bullshit that no other character can bring to the table. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the Wardell clip.
Yeah.
When you think about it that way, that is kind of what Sova does. Sova brings such a unique piece of bullshit to the team.
Yeah, like I mean, Sky does have Sova util, but I feel like there's so much limitations on her util, like on getting info.
It's just the flashes, because at the end of the day, I think what teams are thinking is that they don't care where the enemy specifically is. What they care about is whether the enemy is in a general area, and that's what the flashes deal with. You get 3 flashes as opposed to 1 arrow. So I can see why people want to bring flash for intel.
But oh my god, we got a lot of people watching. Holy shit. The main problem the main problem with most of it is like I feel like Sova is just in this very comfortable place in the meta that he can't be touched, because like how teams are playing on the CT side, they're like, you're not gonna have like, I feel like in most maps you get denied a lot of information with so much util, like Omen smokes. So that's why I think like Sova's util could cut through all of it really easily. Like if an arrow sees nothing on the side.
But I think that's exactly why people would bring Sky over Sova. Is that Sova, he can do that, but it's like that's it. As in, it's kind of passive information gathering. His drone isn't a form of active, but I think when you have a flash, not only when you're Sky, I don't know if they've changed this, but I believe when you're Sky, you flash and there's a fucking notification, right? Like
yeah, but then the problem is like you don't actually know where to. Oh, I mean, the same thing goes to play. Like if you specifically flash a certain 3 like set spots, then you're gonna know. Oh, this guy's in these 3 spots. Like fucking clear them out. It's not that hard.
Yeah, that's why I go back to the idea of I don't think people care about I'm not Diamond 3. Yeah, so you know what? Take my opinions for what they're worth.
Yeah, neither am I. That's a loaded question. I know he knows about.
Yeah, it's a loaded question. Like, it's a loaded question, but then like there's like I've seen reasons why they just prefer Sova, where like darts are more flexible in getting the exact info. It gives off a gunshot if you actually want to find out where they are.
That's true. If you know exactly where the enemy is, Sova is better for that kind of stuff.
And also, one really good reason why people are picking Sova now is because the prevalence of KJ now. The matchup between KJ and Sova is like Sova's a direct counter to the ult. That's an extreme reason why they.
Sorry, what is the counter?
Like his
KJ.
Killjoy.
Oh, Killjoy. Oh, KJ. Okay, I'm sorry.
Like Killjoy's
Alright,
like a lot
continue.
Killjoy's utility, or just in general the Sentinel utility is very like
It's
it
just
keep,
wrong.
like it'd just be countered by a lot of Silva's utility, like, and you think like, oh my god, you have a Raze pack, but like I don't want to sound mean and all, but when you have duelists on like these top tier teams, you want to put the duelists on their comfort picks. You want to pick them. You want to put them on characters that they enjoy playing a lot. You're sure you think like, oh my god, Dicey plays Jet because he's like only good at Jet. Well, it's because he's good at Jet and he's really good at it. Are you gonna force either Dicey or Asuna to go on Raze? Wow, if it's gonna detriment their fragging power? No.
I mean,
Just
I think
keep it
that
Silva.
statement alone kind of answers that question, right? Then, it
Mhm.
does come down to comfort picks. It's whoever is comfortable with Silva. And, like, you got people like Sinatra. He's the only one that comes to mind.
like I'm not gonna lie. Maybe like in months to come, like when they nerf, if they ever nerf Silva, or they find a reason for them to exclude Silva harshly out of the meta, because like you have to fucking force that character out of the meta in order for it to have a lack of play. Look at Sage, literally. Like
That's actually very true.
like,
I see what you're saying here.
Literally, they tried they tried to shove her into the ground like 4 times, and on the 4th try, everybody gave up. It was
It's because like Sage, Silva is the only one who fills that role of what he does.
Yeah.
Like no one else can get intel like him, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of say like
Yeah,
Cypher
I
and
agree.
Killjoy, but
they're
like
so
really, you know?
it's fairly static compared. That's why I think like you could say like, oh my god, but in my matchmaking game, Sky's really good because I can just flash the corner. But then in actuality, when you see pros play, they're not just like flashing corners or like getting slight info, because when pros get flashed or they lose, they get spotted, they're gonna just reposition or do something else. They've this is their game for craft, and I'm pretty sure they're not gonna do it. In the matchmaking level, I've seen more Skies already. Am I pissed? Yes. But am I pissed that
Dude,
it will
I
be
think
there?
I think I guess we should move on, but
Sick.
I think
In
it'll have to
transition?
depend on like another week of tournaments, because what we do know for certain is that while pros dictate a meta, pros are also slow to form a meta, as in they're unlikely to try Sky in the first place if they're already so comfortable with another character. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how pros do it.
Also, I do feel like right now, I feel like some people are just wanting to target Hunter right now in chat.
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
all right,
no.
well let's roll with it. We roll
I,
with it.
I'm having a good laugh internally looking at these. But something I want to talk about, because I've noticed in our satellite podcast, we've talked a lot about Valorant, and I kind of feel like the whole idea of video games and esports, there's so much more to talk about than just Valorant. So something I've been actually
yeah.
wanting to talk about is like, what are your guys' takes on like playing video games casually, like solo player video games versus these competitive like play to win team based video games. Like I feel like I've had a lot of experience playing these multiplayer competitive games like Call of Duty, League of Legends, Valorant, all these super competitive, where I kind of envy people who are able to enjoy playing like indie or solo games, like let's say Skyrim or Fallout, or like a game like The Witcher or Celeste. These like these single player video games that just people can find joy out of, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of negative that comes. Of course, the reward in these competitive, rank based video games is very like satiating, or it is very fulfilling, because you're competing against other people. But we say when you're getting shit on, like I get shit on in Valorant all the time, and it's not fun, man. But for some reason I still play the game because I love the competitive aspect. I just want to know like what you guys think about playing these competitive games versus single player, compete against yourself.
I think this is a very good question, actually, and I
no.
coincidentally had a crazy conversation about this with my buddy. But Albert, do you want to say anything? Because I'll enter ramble mode as well.
I'll start off with like my take. What's it like? I know a lot of people who dislike the disposition that competitive games give them. Like I know people who like competed in Smash and just like, well, not competed, but like they attempted to and they just gave up immediately. They don't like the disposition. That's why like I don't know if you see the quote like Kanye West like. I don't like I play racing games just to have fun and technically just compete and improve myself, and I don't have to improve myself by having to compare myself all the time.
Yeah.
Which is
I think that's healthy. Yeah.
I see nothing
Yeah, I think
wrong with
I
it.
think leaderboards and ladders can become kind of toxic because you're always trying to like become better than the person next to you, and like if you think about it, that can be paralleled with a lot of things in life, like in a professional environment. Um, I guess
Wait,
like
hold on,
maybe in
Hunter. I
social.
just want to cut you off here because I think there are people in this chat, or at least like two people who are interested in getting like wanting to be part of this conversation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, let's when we say ask questions, let's try to ask like relevant questions.
Like
I guess.
Yeah.
don't just shit on your butt here saying that
Let's
why are you a shitty Reina or some shit like that.
let's look for questions that'll stimulate discussion.
Yeah. Or if you want
But
clarification, I guess on like what one
yeah,
of our
that works
takes
as
are.
well.
Yeah.
But continuing until we find a question, I'm just gonna continue.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think there are a lot of parallels with this whole competitive thing, and in a sense, it can be good because you're getting used to competing with other people. But I don't know. I think I've just been playing these games for so long, and I'm getting sick of it, man. Like
Dude, 100%.
I just want to be able to, like on a Saturday or like a day when I have time, just hop on. Like one of my buddies plays Assassin's Creed like just casually, and I'm just like, man, you know what? I could go for that. I'm not down for all this like high stakes communication ranked games. It's just too stressful,
Yeah,
man. And like the time commitment required to like become good is not necessarily something that I really want to invest in, because at the end of the day, it's like I'm not trying to become an esports pro, even though that would be super sick. It's just like
yeah.
it's just not. I'm not like innately talented, whereas I can just pick up a game like that and become fit. Like
Yeah, and
zero to pro.
like this Dragon Dog guy is asking, do you think esports is going to stay? This is kind of, I guess, like
Oh, I
a
love that
weird
question.
moment because yeah, I think esports is to stay, and I think that's going to come with a couple problems. When I was talking with my friend yesterday, yeah, that's exactly why I think there's going to be problems associated with that, because esports is going to be big, but just because of how accessible games are in general, it's not going to be a reliable job at all. Like we already see that right now, where players are getting picked up and dropped. But like, if esports genuinely, like, this is still the infancy stage, but when it actually becomes like a tier of something like soccer, like straight up, oh yeah, if you ever hear in any school and you're doing one of those awkward intros, esports is the thing. When someone just casually says Valorant, yeah, I'm a professional Valorant player, and everyone's like, oh, dude, no way, all right. Like and I think that's it's a little concerning to me because as you were talking about, Hunter, you're talking about that stress, right? One of the things that
Yeah.
my buddy said to me is that like FPSs in particular, I think the two games that are the worst offenders of this are FPSs and MOBAs. But those two types of game modes, you cannot turn off. There is no such thing as casual FPS. There is if you're not like if you're just bronze, or if you're like a pro and you're just hopping on with an alt. But I think that for the average consumer like you and I, Hunter, we don't like have time, nor do we intend to get good at FPSs, right? But the problem is that these competitive games are becoming the forefront of just gaming in general. Like obviously Animal Crossing and all that shit, it's still around, but what's going to be on the TV when esports does go big, right? It's going to be fucking ESPN, Valorant Tonight, Face Off, and all that stuff. And I think it's going to bring I think gaming in general for that community too, that competitive community, is going to get way more toxic. A couple things that I've personally noticed, and I used to be like a pretty sweaty gamer myself. Like I was the desk slammer funny enough, I was like a one-trick mercy for a period. But
What?
yeah, that's what happens. Like toxicity kind of accumulates if you're always on. Like you can never be relaxed in these FPS games if you're self-aware, where most people are. And
Yeah.
I think a transition to like that single player game, right? Like more people need to do that. And I guess the final thing before I hand it off to you, Hunter, is that the one thing that my friend told me that really fucking echoed in my heart was he was like, you know, I bet the reason why people just stop playing games is because all they played are FPSs. So you're gonna get burnt out. And I can see why. I'm honestly kind of over playing games competitively, you know. I'm all for playing games like practicing. I'll still play
Mhm.
Kovacs. I love Kovacs, but I don't think I'll ever be as sweaty as I was in for like any other game now because I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. I actually have I have a pretty interesting alternative perspective to answering that question. I think you took the approach as if like that it's going to internally develop, you know, with popularity in terms of popularity. Is that what you were saying? In terms of, I'm speaking of your take on the industry growing. Could I just get some clarification there?
Sorry, could you repeat that? Sorry, I was reading a question
So
in
like,
chat.
um, like what was your? I'm just trying to get this straight. Your take was that it's going to grow internally in terms of popularity. Like over time, more people are going to become aware of esports.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah. So
I have no doubt to that, and I guess I'll take this opportunity to ask Dragon Dog's question. Um, you bring up a good point. Like social, that is what Wardell's doing is just general. I think I perceive it as general social media thing, where you first establish yourself, and I think this is a trend that everyone's doing. It's not just Wardell. I'm talking like any celebrity. They're using the name they've generated for themselves, and they're trying to maintain their popularity such that they're in the spotlight by introducing a bunch of other things like using social media to promote themselves, using Twitch to stream like your life and stuff like that, and embracing YouTube. These are all just methods to that everyone's doing. This is not something that esports does. The reason why I'm still on the side that esports is going to be an unreliable job in the future is because it's like normal sports, you know? Like not everyone's a pro basketball player. And we all know that like a lot of people who go to university for sports, a lot of them don't keep going on because
They're too old.
there's only a limited amount of space at that top tier.
All right, Paul. All right, Paul.
There's-
I'm gonna have to cut you off.
Wait, no, I have a
Because
I have a bigger take on this.
All right, let's go.
I honestly
Alright,
think you
Albert,
guys are missing out the
take the
more
floor.
you're missing the most important point about esports. And
All
like,
right,
the
let's
biggest-
hear it. Let's hear it, Albert.
How
What
many?
is the most important?
Are you gonna think every game is a single sport, or are you gonna think every genre is a sport? You know what I mean? Why is it that like
Yeah.
like this is what I genuinely this is what I genuinely fear about esports in the long run, and this is what I genuinely feared when I was a pro in Indonesia for CS. Like, if the developer or the community dies on the backing of the esport, like if it just dies, if like if my local scene didn't have orgs, and they like the next day there was a financial crisis in my country, and like I die, like literally my career is over. And so what I'm hinting is towards that, since there's so many games and so many developers, I genuinely don't think that it can be as big as like a basketball or as the NFL, because I feel there's so many games for you to keep track of, and so many like I don't know, like just like
if you consider, I guess. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I guess I'll let you finish, and then I'll comment on your point about like.
I feel like developers staying alive is an important point, and like games being relevant. If your game is not relevant, you're just gonna fade into infancy. And I don't think the idea of you being this is why I still think esports is still gonna be like very low below. Not too. It's gonna flourish. It's gonna become a very big industry, but I think it's not gonna reach the heights as sports due to the fact that in order for your name sort of to be remembered in true like in the public's eye forever, you shouldn't be remembered as the king of StarCraft or the king of Counter-Strike. You should be remembered as the king of FPSs, like Shroud, or somebody who's stunning in all these games, right? You have to be like a king in your genre, or like a king in like your own expertise. That's why I think like, and I'm not gonna lie, like, okay, let me ask you guys this, right? Who the hell knows Crims from Fnatic? Oh wait, like I think only Paul. Yeah, see, but yet he has like he has 3 major wins into Counter-Strike. He's been playing the game for so long, and like recent drama has just started up with him, and nobody knows him. But do you guys know Shroud? Do you guys know? Yeah. Do you guys know who else? Like do you guys know Hiko? Because these guys are making the strides of like, sure, maybe like we are Valorant like biased, but I think like it's because they realize if they want to actually have a, I feel like, not maybe they don't realize, but I feel like the true relevancy for like true fame in the world, for it to be like for you to be a household name now in the modern day of esports, not like before in Korea, is that you have to be really good in a specific genre and flexible, and like the king of adaptability.
I want to say that. Oh, sorry, Hunter. You go.
Yeah,
we're taking turns.
so,
You can have the talking
exactly.
stick.
So what you guys said has actually made me realize that my perspective might be a little over optimistic, but nevertheless, I'm still optimistic about the future for esports.
No, keep it.
And
Keep
one
it.
thing-
This is how we keep there's a balance of takes here in this
Yeah.
trifecta.
So I'm just gonna start off by bouncing off both of your guys' main points. Paul, yours being that it's gonna be an unreliable job, and I think that it already is an unreliable job, and it's not going to become a bigger issue into the future. Because if you think about it, like, you have to be really, really good to play in the NBA. Like that just goes to show that the ceiling to become in the NBA is super high. Therefore, I mean, we can compare the ceiling to esports being down here. As you said, it's in its infancy stage. So if anything, it actually might be like, even though it's an unreliable job in the sense of you can get replaced easily, that's only because there's more room to grow. Like, as Albert said, like, the industry is gonna like flourish. It's still got a long way to go. So I'm thinking, production is a huge point I like to always mention when I'm talking about the future of esports. Because if you think about it, like if we're talking about like 1990s 1980s esports, it existed back then, and what it was like little conventions at arcades where people would gather around a arcade machine and watch someone play Pac-Man and try to get the highest score. Today we're seeing League of Legends on this gigantic Shanghai stage with green screens all around, production crews top notch. This background green screen effect is super high quality, super clean transitions,
I mean, I'll say this:
panelist desk.
We'll reach that stage when all production is like fucking South Korea production, because that shit is primo. That shit's actual money, dude.
No, okay, listen. Okay, wait. Like, you can't. I don't want to pull up the idea of money or production into this, because if you say that there's more orgs coming up, production is going even higher. You didn't, like, from behind the scenes, if you look at like how like orgs are even getting this money and not even turning an upside, you have to look at where they're getting this money to begin with. They're getting it from like fucking, I forgot what's the word called. They're like investment firms that they invest so much money on different things, but the upside in all these different projects will grant them even more profit than the investment in all the other things. Forgot what it's called.
Franchising?
No. Warren Buffett runs one of these. What's like Berkshire Hathaway? Like, what is it called essentially?
Something like capital venture firm.
Yeah, capital ventures. Yeah. Like they are throwing money in esports because they expect a turn up. But I don't want to sound mean. That's why I literally think that I think there's just like that's why I do think this might be a bubble. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to sound mean. I don't want to sound mean. I do believe that it's great we're getting so much production. It's great that production tools are becoming easier to use, and that's because of esports and also that, right? But it's also triggering me that like people think like we have an $11 billion like league. Okay, how much of that is is the money going to be actually made back? That's why.
Yeah.
That's why. That's my big problem right now. And like and that's why other games will not flourish as others because they don't get that investment. They will never get that
Okay.
investment, and they will never make that
Before
return
you
back.
talk, Paul, before you talk, I want to mention something.
All right, go for it.
Another reason why the esports industry is here to stay is because okay, let's think about it this way. In your typical 5th grade elementary school class, there's a cliche of, like the athletic kids, the kids who like play on their DSs over in the corner by the benches. There's like kind of a cliche of, people, and not just elementary, like middle school, high school. There's a cliche of people fitting in with these types of stereotypes, of who they are as a person. And if you think about it, this can be paralleled to the interests of people in the real world. For example, the jocks turn out to be into athletics. They get interested in college sports. Go down that round. They're interested. They don't even have to go that way. They're just interested in sports.
Mm-hmm.
If we were going to talk about the other end of the spectrum, people who like to play video games, would you not say that in your classes through, middle school, high school, that there was a community of kids that, love to play video games, love to game, would rather spend their Saturday afternoon playing some online video game with their friends versus going out and, playing basketball? There are those people. And what I'm trying to say here is that the market, the demand for esports isn't going anywhere. The whole idea of loving to play video games, people can love video games and sports, but some people like only video games, some people like only sports, and there's a significant amount of people who like only playing video games. I'm not going to pull up any statistics here, but nevertheless, like there is a huge demand for this market, and it's only going to go up with the innovation and expansion in technology. Like like technology is only going to become more appealing, more interesting. Like when I was 5 years old, the coolest thing to me was a Nintendo DS. Now the coolest thing is like I just watched a video. I mean, this isn't like video game related, but I just watched a video from the hacksmith about like the brightest flashlight ever known to man. Like we're going crazy. So these people who are in love with like video games and, like I said, would rather spend their time playing video games are going to stick with this market. The esports is going to be the traditional sports is to the jocks. Like it has its own niche community that can expand into like can just keep growing and growing as the world grows as well.
I think I'm gonna clarify my take here. I think what Albert said a while ago about how he doesn't think esports is going to even peak in the first place. I'm gonna take that side, and I'm going to try to explain it using what Darude Dankstorm brought up. He was comparing because we were talking about mainly Counter-Strike, Valorant and all that good stuff. He's saying that that's like just comparing it to the NBA, and those things are always going to be big. But he brings up the point that like there's also a bunch of other games that are small in sports that have survived, that are going to survive, right? And to that, I want to bring it back to Albert's point about there needs to be one FPS. The problem with esports, and I agree with it, the reason why esports will, or at this current point, won't grow is because there's no agreed upon FPS, like Albert said. For example, bowling, lacrosse are very like distinct sports. Even chess, within chess, there's no tournaments for something like damn, this guy, where the drugs at? It's okay, that's for later. Oh fuck. I'm sorry. Anyway, FPSs. There's no such thing as like chess 2.0 or 3D chess, There's no genre for that. But in esports and in just video games, right? Within that sport of shooting at people, there's Valorant, there's the tactical shooters, there's the team-based shooters, there's arena shooters, there's a lot of shooters out there. And another, until we decide on like what shooter is going to be like the main shooter, it won't grow. And number two, and this is a big thing in my opinion, games right now, I believe, are not currently designed to last. And what I mean by that is StarCraft is a good example of a game designed to last. There was not many things that changed, and ultimately people were satisfied with the end product, and it was something that people played with for a long time until other games come along. But if you look at game design of modern competitive games, these games have no constants. Overwatch, always adding characters. Valorant, always got to add characters. Balance, balance, balance. And the community always wants change. So we're at a stalemate where I think everyone here, we would like to see esports grow, because that would be literally like watching our hobby rise up, become something that's accepted in society. But we're not even deciding like what game is even like the most competitive, like is Valorant going to be the game that we designate our growth towards? And the reason why we can't do this like this idea of having multiple niches is that then you're not coalescing your viewership. If chess had like all these off branches of chess, like
don't do that. Just say puzzle games, like puzzle games. Puzzle games like chess, checkers.
Oh, you know what? That's actually the perfect example.
You can even do Tetris, like, even in that same category.
Yo,
also.
Paul, do we need, like, let's be real here. Do we need to like pick a game that represents the entire genre as a whole? I feel like that's the beauty of esports, is that there is a game that can represent a genre in and of itself.
I wouldn't say that sort of fragmentation is why like esports is struggling to grow. Because to the average viewer, that's like not a gamer, right? What the fuck is Overwatch and Valorant? Man, I just want to watch people get shot. What am I supposed to watch here?
Yeah, or why are there two versions of Smash? Or why is there like two different MOBAs looking exactly the same? Like
the games that have survived, in my opinion, and that have made like the biggest contributions to esports, right? In community development, game tech finding, has honestly been like I want to say Melee, StarCraft, and I'm gonna put this out there. I honestly think that the fighting game community is better geared towards achieving this esports goal than any other genre.
Honestly,
yeah. It's because these games actually are distinct. Like there is a big difference between Tekken and Melee, but for Overwatch and Valorant, I guess the comparison is like, it's not quite the same. They're both like similar with the character concept. Yeah, there's other games too, but the characters are similar, but like they play a little different. And so I think and another thing is that there's a lot of overlap within the FPS genre. I think a lot of people here, we don't play just one game, right?
I mean,
and it's these issues of I'm essentially saying that we need to define a main game to follow, because until then, the community is too fragmented to even like show that esports can be a thing, Like look at Overwatch League when it was around, right? It had people, but it didn't have like people like when give me like a fighting tournament, Albert.
Evo.
What's a
fucking Evo?
Yeah, like Evo is actually packed. Even though Evo has multiple games, everyone there is interested in watching all those games.
It's because there's also the idea that like, if you know a fighting game, okay, Smash is like a cool exception, because I'm not saying, okay, I'm not gonna get into debate if any sweaty Smash people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, Smash is a fighting game, but like I'm saying this just for clarification terms, okay? People go to like tournaments like Evo and watch and have high viewing numbers is because they are able to understand impressive plays of like understanding and mechanical skill. They know because the idea of like of all fighting games of like the ideas of footsies and combos are all rooted in all these different games. And then like for example, if you play Street Fighter and then you see a Tekken play and a Tekken game, you're gonna realize, oh my god, that's extremely hard to do because I don't even play a 3D game. And then doing that in 3D is even harder. There's like, I feel like you can't really the viewing experience among. That's why I think like that's why I agree with Paul that fighting games are the FGC is ready to like start to be the head of the esports.
I mean, if people didn't hear about this, I think Smash.gg got bought out by Microsoft.
Wait, when was
yeah,
this?
Like,
This is a long time ago.
That's a major thing. And hold on, I think Hunter, before I hand it off to you, I want to clarify a point. I think after listening to Albert, I guess there isn't much different between the FPS genre and the fighting genre of what games are at the peak. But hold on, Albert. But I think what the fighting game genre is doing correctly is in the form of Evo. They're collecting their entire audience into one place, which makes it seem like there's a lot of attention. Whereas in the FPS and MOBA community, it seems like they want to divide and conquer. They just want the most player base. Whereas I think fighting games realize that it's a bit difficult. A lot of people play, like they kind of overlap a lot. And so let's collect the viewership.
Like, that's why like you guys know the names like Daigo or like Justin Wong.
You know what?
Like,
yeah.
Like wait, why? Oh, is it because Justin Wong's is it because he's
I know those people.
Well, no, maybe not, but like more people do know their famous moments. Is it because Daigo's a Street Fighter one trick? No, he's a fighting game legend. He played multiple games, won multiple Evos in multiple games. Is a Justin Wong a MVC like one trick? No, he won like 8 Evos. Not Evos, like more Evos than fucking Armada ever did. Like that's an understanding of like how skilled and like how long these legacies can last. And that's also
oh yeah, sorry.
That's also but I've one more thing. Before I want to say, Hunter, you said the beauty of esports is the diversity of that everybody has their own game. You're making it way harder for the viewing experience for every single
That's
other.
True, yeah, because you don't want to watch too many things.
Like if I'm a normal viewer, literally my dad said this to me when he first came to my first CS tournament, right? He said, "Why isn't this Call of Duty?" And you may laugh at that. But then,
nah, dude, that's understandable.
But then it's brand confusion. There's so many things to keep up with and for you to understand. What's the differences between CS and Valorant, Agents and X, Y, and Z, and all these nooks and crannies? But then, if that's for us to understand, imagine how that feels for the outsider, for the viewer, for the people who want to be the casual viewer of the esport. Like we won't. That's why I feel like people who watch esports are people who know the esport, not people who are not casual viewers and who don't play the game. I feel I can watch soccer and understand the beauty of soccer, even though I haven't played it, or like even though my friends haven't played it for years.
That's a good way of putting it. One of the difficulties in games is sometimes it's harder to understand the beauty of what's happening because you don't play the game. But in soccer, it's more intuitive because it is more physical.
Or basketball, like, oh my god, that's a hard throw. Because you physically know that's a hard throw. Like, you yourself can't even throw something into the sink from that far away. Like, something like that. That's why I think fighting games are making the step further, because they're combining their user base and they're playing to their ideas that, like, since this basic idea that's applied to almost every single fighting game, even Smash, like the idea of footsies, since it's applied to those games, we can have a bigger viewership and we can have these more household names and understanding of who are the greats, who are the GOATs, and who are the best.
I think what's cool about fighting games is that the 1v1 aspect is very simple to understand. It's like there's one guy on the left and then there's one guy on the right. But yeah, I think what I want to say, Hunter, here is that I don't want to be negative about the esports future, but it's just that I personally have not seen like the changes that are necessary for esports to keep growing. I think the job is a little sus, and we're still a little divided on what games are like good and bad, when in reality that like we should just be watching all these games because that's the best way to support them. Yeah, and then the final point would be that like even the companies themselves are sort of designing these games to be like a bubble. Like I think Albert said um, the esports scene right now is sort of like a bubble, and I agree with that because yeah, these games aren't designed to be static anymore. Like CS is the only game that I would have thought would have hit like esports like the first game to enter the real world. I thought CS was going to be the first shooter because it hadn't changed much. It was still the same game. People were still into it. But that doesn't seem to be the case with Valorant really rising up. And I don't think Valorant intends to really stop putting out champions. Like how many champions are in League? I legitimately believe in the future. Oh yeah, Terrorist versus CT also is
Yeah. Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
that's probably why I never
Yeah,
went
yeah,
big.
yeah. No, like 100%. That's the big problem. Why? But I think like literally, like honestly, like dude, if if people look past that, I think there's just like CS is just gonna be the most ready one because like name another group who hasn't done it individually who had the sponsorship of like ESPN and Fox News.
Dude, they got ESPN and Fox?
You know what that's called? You know what that entire league is called? E-League. E-League. They were the first they were essentially the first big esport to be picked up with E-League.
Are you fucking oh my god. What? Oh, that's Fox Sports?
Dude, yeah, dude, in my brother's fucking graduation, I was chilling in on the TV in the hotel watching esports, watching CS E-League Major.
Okay, you know what? You know what? Fuck what I said, Hunter. Clearly, the market thinks esports is ready because I did not know they had an E-League. That is something.
Well, you didn't know.
I will admit that.
You didn't know.
Something.
You didn't know E-League was like backed by Fox and ESPN.
No, I didn't even know about E-League.
What the fuck?
Okay.
It's just because Overwatch never got it.
Yeah.
Moving on. I think we've dragged on for this subject for quite a while. I want to talk about something different.
All right.
I want to know, like, what were your favorite video games growing up?
Yeah, you started, Hunter, and we'll go down in the triangle.
Dude, whew, man, I love to talk about this story. Like,
yo, Halo's a classic. Turbo.
From Halo for the classic. I started off with I think it was either DS or like Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. I specifically remember like in first grade, I was just watching. There was a period of time where my dad had just gotten this Wii, and I was reading Turbo's comment.
Yeah, dude.
4-year-old me kicking yes too online. Dude, that was me, man. Yeah, so just watching him, and I was like, eventually, I guess he felt bad for me or something because I was watching him. He's like, "You want to play?" And I was like, sure. I was kind of scared, man, because it's like a shooter game, and I'm like in first grade.
Dude, I agree. Playing shooters young for the first time is so hectic. Like everything's so fast, things are blowing up, especially if it's COD. Oh.
And so yeah, it was either that or like this Nintendo Mario game. I remember like when I first got the DS, I would just spend the entire day playing like it was like a matching game, and I remember like every round it would get harder and harder. I really want to, like, after I'm done talking, I'm going to try and look it up and find it, like what this exact mini game was, because I just was so addicted to it. I was like, it was just like a bunch of different Mario characters on the screen, and then they'd flip over and you'd have to match them or something. Anyways, but
Mario Party.
When I had the most fun was playing either Pokemon or like Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed back in the day was so bomb.
Dude,
like,
I don't know if you played the recent Assassin's Creed, but like I think the oldest ones, like when they were still in Italy and all that stuff.
They're better. Those are better.
Yeah, they're definitely better.
I don't like how the newer ones are more like street, like you're
fighting,
like open world, like just like combat, hand-to-hand combat. It's not really any assassination anymore. It's more
Did
of just like.
Did you ever get to play the multiplayer on one of the Assassin's Creed games where it's like playing tag pretty much? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
There was a really cool feature in one of the Assassin's Creed games where if you went into multiplayer, right, the whole game was you would play an assassin. And oh my god, Hunter, your screen just froze, and I was just like, bro. I can't have you
Wow.
die on me. But this game
Is
was
it
it was
still
honestly
present?
it's the best multiplayer idea I've ever heard. You essentially are given like a random NPC model, and then you're given like the face and the body shape of your target. So you know what they're wearing and you know what they look like, and you enter this like map of a town essentially. And you and everyone else in this game, I think it was like a like an 8-player game, and you and everyone else were always looking for someone to kill, and someone was always trying to kill you. So you would have to like blend in with the crowd, check your picture in the top right hand of your screen to find your target, kill him, and not get killed yourself. And I thought that game mode was so fucking cool. And I'm so sad they didn't bring it to any other Assassin's Creed game.
That sounds lit.
Yeah, it just sounds like a good game, right? Like that just sounds like a fun party game.
Yeah, my favorite aspect was like the ability to just like hide on a rooftop and then just jump down on two people and go boom boom.
Oh yeah, and
Like
just
that
walk it
stuff
off,
was
you know?
so fun. Oh my goodness, I love that so much. And in those games, like I think it was like I don't even know. It was like the revolutionary one, revolutionary times, industrial period. It was just all
Oh yeah, I know what you're
assassination.
talking about. Yeah.
I played like I don't know. I think the Egypt desert one was super let down. I was like,
Nah, Assassin's Creed, like
it's
it just got bad. It just got bad.
yeah. They're yeah. I guess that kind of goes to show and like highlight how the esports industry like creates games that aren't meant to last. And one thing that I know I'm beating the dead horse here, but one thing that I think you guys overlooked was the fact that um, certain games are built in certain time periods. So, for example, like Tetris was built in an era where like the whole idea of video games was very not well fleshed out, and like they were just getting started with the whole foundation of like, okay, what can we create?
Mhm.
First thing was Tetris. Nowadays, Tetris is like what's Tetris? What?
I don't know about what
That's a game?
Tetris. People know
That's a
Tetris,
game?
dude. Tetris is still alive, man. Tetris was brought back by fucking that battle royale that Switch brought, the Tetris
Nah,
100, which I think was
nah.
so
I think it
cool.
was other stuff, but whatever. It was like,
What?
But
yeah, I guess it was like Puyo Tetris, and then like the Switch like expanded on that even more.
Yeah, it's such a cool idea. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The Puyo Tetris is also interesting, but Tetris I think is still a household name, Hunter. I don't know if you should write off Tetris of all things.
Compared to
Pac-Man, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
okay,
like
Pac-Man. Yeah.
it seems so outdated compared to the games today. But now that I think about it, man, I had like so much fun just spending some of my weekends like back when I was in middle school or elementary school, just like playing on my DS, like catching the next Pokemon, like beating the next gym battle. I don't know why, but those I'm just so fond of those memories. And
Dude,
like
Hunter, are you aware of what
I'm getting
emulators
all
are?
nostalgic now. I
oh
want
my
to like go
god.
back. Oh no, dude, I like over the weekend or not over over the summer, completely different time periods. Over the summer, I went to Wisconsin to visit my family, and over there's like no like she lives in northern Wisconsin, so it's very
Mhm.
rural country like. So there's not a lot of internet at all. I mean, at her house, there's like no there was no internet
Mhm.
like to send a Snapchat video. I know I'm speaking super Gen Z terms here. To send a Snapchat video, it took like 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Oh my
I had to
god.
sit there with I had to sit there with my phone on for 10 minutes to send a video. Like I was in the middle. No, I wasn't in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there was a town nearby. But anyways, I like fortunately enough, I had the greatest idea. Of course, I didn't bring it with me, but I was like, I called my dad. I was like, hey, dad, can you send me this Game Boy? Because I had gotten those nostalgic vibes early on in the year. I'm like, yo, I should really check out Pokemon Leaf Green, Emerald, all that. So I went on eBay, bought a bunch of those games. I mean, they're super cheap, like $20. My
Yeah, but
buddy
like the
gave
Pokemon
me
games are pretty expensive.
yeah, my buddy gave me his old Nintendo Game Boy Advance or something
Mhm.
like that. And so I
Oh,
was just playing it, man. I was having so much fun. I was getting all those feels, and I just like Oh,
Yo,
it
I'm,
makes
I'm
me
gonna
so
sound
sad.
super fucking old here, but let me tell you this, all right? Pokemon is dead. We can move on from that, but let me tell you this, Hunter, right here. I think some of the best games, right? Like I'm talking even now, compared to the standards of now, some of the best games come from the Game Boy Advance and DS era, dude.
Oh,
I
no.
fucking love that system.
Oh
I
no.
agree.
Hunter, I'm gonna be honest. You kind of opened a bag of worms here because I've actually loved those games. Like my childhood was playing all these Game Boy games and DS games on emulators on my phone. Like I burned
Oh
through.
wow.
I would actually in like middle school and high school, I'd Google like, oh, best top GBA games or top DS games, right? I would download them onto my phone and I would just bust through them because there was nothing better to do.
I was.
Yeah, Mario and Luigi is. Oh, see, that's why the DS was cool. You know, when games were interesting, having a game that took like both screens and you're like, oh, Bowser's on the bottom and Mario's on the top. That's so cool. Like, yeah,
Dude,
it's just cute shit like that. I think they were
I-
novel. They were novel. They were more willing to try things in that era. And relating to that time thing, or the relativity of what you talked about, Hunter, I like those older games more because they were designed to last. And you can really tell, dude. I think old games have so much polish, and there's polish in modern games as well. But damn, there's a reason why Metroidvania is that genre is called Metroidvania and nothing else, dude. Metroid fucking bangs. Castlevania, beautiful. My favorite Metroid game is it's got to be Zero Mission. That's just a classic. It's just nice. Nah, dude.
have you
No, no, no.
have
I'm
you
talking
ever
about
heard
yeah, Metroid on the fucking Game Boy Advance.
have you ever heard of a thing called an R4 chip
Oh, dude. Okay.
for the DS?
You want to talk about?
Oh
Hold
no.
on.
Yes.
No way, we're gonna get
No way. You have one.
live anecdotal evidence.
He's
Yeah,
like.
so my while he's looking for that, I'm gonna talk about the my experience with it. So my
So,
dad for my birthday once
yeah.
there was
Sorry, I'm
like
putting my headphones on. Keep talking, Hunter.
was like, hey, like you want this R4 chip? I was like, what is that? And he's like, I don't know, I just found it on eBay or I think it's called Craigslist. I'm like, is it like I don't know. I was super skeptical because he was like, yeah, it's illegal, but like it's really cool. You can get a bunch of games on it and stuff.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, oh, really? And I ended up like using the crap out of that thing, man. I got like this polar bear ice bowling game, uh Pokemon Platinum, my favorite Pokemon of all
Oh,
time,
don't even.
going down in the history. Pokemon Platinum. Giratina was the first Pokemon I've ever got to level 100. I grinded that game. So much fun.
Yo,
Great memories.
let me
But
reveal my power level here.
Let's see it.
All right. First off, have you boys ever seen a Game Boy Micro before?
Yes, and they're
No.
fucking. They are
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
to
You
find.
want to see how small it is? This
Yeah.
is a Game Boy Micro. Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Holy
This is an
shit.
official Nintendo product that came out like right between when the DS was coming out and when the Game Boy Advance already came out. I think this is a way to be like, hey, we can like really make the Game Boy factor small. Okay, but you want to see something cool? I'm so fucking sweaty about yeah, it was yeah, let me tell you something else I bought for $100 here, okay?
Let's
I'm
do it.
so picky. I'm so into this shit that R4 and then these other emulation devices, they're actually like technically slower than like native games because it is emulation, right? So I scoured the internet and found this. This
Oh
this
my.
brand right here is if you want an R4 for your Game Boy Advance, this brand is the best brand for this shit. I'm
Yeah.
serious when I say this.
Oh my-
Like this is if you go on like retro gaming forums, you'll see that you got to look for this. This is hands down the best emulator for your Game Boy Advance.
Like, can I?
And boom, this is how much of a nerd I am.
How much was it for you, by the way?
Yo,
Just
guys, I have a surprise guest for Come here, come here.
It's
For
I think it's
today's episode.
150. Go
For
look
everyone
it up,
that's
Albert. It's called
Dude,
around.
because
Never Drive.
because
I gotta
back in
guess.
Indonesia, oh my god, he's a cute
That's
doggo. That's a cute doggo.
What's
Say hi
wait
to
one
Bo,
star. Let's just deal
everyone.
with the dog real quick here. What's his or her name?
His name's Bo. He's a
Bo?
King
Bo.
Charles Cavalier Spaniel, and he's a big boy. I
Dude,
call
stand up,
myself-
Hunter. I need to see a size comparison here. How big is
I'm
this?
I'm not standing up because I may or may not be in my underwear at the moment.
I the classic
Dude.
setup.
Yeah.
The turtleneck above, nothing below.
It's like you're in your
Oh,
swim
that's a cute
trunks.
dog.
Cute. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, if anyone's interested in getting that for
He's
some
such a
reason,
good boy.
it's called an EverDrive. The brand is called, yeah, it's just an EverDrive cart, and it's good. I think they had a Black Friday sale.
Oh my god. No, dude, I remember back in Indo, because it's like it was really imported, right? It was imported, and I remember the price of like one of those drives were like $200.
Dude, yeah, these things are stupid. You think the keyboard community is the most obscure?
No, we're still
expensive...
we're still absurd. We're still absurd.
Yeah. What's more absurd than the keyboard community has to be the Game Boy community. I've never seen a group of people so obsessed with the Game Boy Color.
Oh,
Like, not even the Game Boy Advance. I'm talking about that old school black and white shit.
oh, you're saying black and white?
There are people who are like,
I was thinking like translucent, like pink, purple, like that type of shit, you know?
yeah, sorry, it's that. But like, I'm so surprised people are interested in that dated device. But you know what? That's what people are probably gonna say about me when I whip out the Game Boy Micro in the future.
Yo, Nintendo.
Dude, it's like, bro, you still have a Game Boy Advance, bro? It's all about the vintage DS, my guys.
Dude, I'm such a nostalgic gamer, man. I'm just like a nostalgic person in general. I get like
Dude.
so. I mean, maybe that I don't know whether that's a good thing or not, but
Honestly,
I just
Hunter, here's what
love
I gotta
looking
say
back
about
on,
that, dude.
on
It's
past
not
memories.
nostalgia. You just want good games.
I just want good games.
It's not
now.
nostalgia. Yeah, it's not
Yeah, I
nostalgia,
think-
bro.
I think Pokemon, like I stopped losing interest like after X and Y. Like
Yes.
I think they did a real shit job there. I was
Dude,
just like,
I mean,
over
Albert,
with
did
it.
you play Pokemon when you were growing up?
Yeah, I
I
played.
think Pokemon's a pretty
I
common
played,
game
I
to
played
play.
Yellow, Emerald,
Yellow. Oh yeah.
and
that's
then I
old,
played
yeah.
Platinum. I skipped Gen 5. I skipped Black and White because it just looked janky to me. I don't know. People love Black and White. I feel like I'm shitting on my like half my friends right now. So
Dude, I understand.
But then I came back for X and Y because I was like, dude, a 3DS sounds
Mhm.
bomb right now, and like this is the right time to get back in Pokemon. It was like 5th grade, 6th grade.
Mhm.
And then Gen 5 slapped. Okay, maybe I'll do a stream on it. But like but then like dude, after that, it like after you get old and like you don't like follow it anymore. Like Pokemon just felt so boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, Nintendo. I'm sorry.
No,
you
as
try to squeeze every penny out of my ass this time.
Dude,
You
as
almost
a
got
sweaty
me.
Pokemon Showdown player myself, I
Oh,
can
you
also agree that Pokemon best Pokemon Go player. You better watch those words, Turbo. You don't have that Go next to your name. I'm gonna DM you and I'll have to whoop your ass online. On Showdown. I'm not the best. But yeah, I just fuck around with Pokemon Showdown, but I 100% agree, dude. Pokemon is like, it's so far off of what it used to be. Like, it genuinely is nostalgia that I think draws people to Pokemon. Because Sun and Moon is and then Sword and Shield.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I get you.
we don't
We'll
talk about
that.
contemporary Pokemon, guys. That's just disrespectful to the loyal fans.
Oh my god.
Dude,
And the anime, oh my goodness, man. The anime was a whole nother beast a whole nother beauty.
It
to
was
the whole
cute. I liked it.
everything,
Honestly,
man.
the anime,
I
the
loved
anime
it.
is what got people into Pokemon, not the game. The anime, dude.
Definitely, dude. The anime
No one,
is-
no
Dude,
one gives a
everything
fuck about
about it
Pikachu
so
until you see
beautiful.
Pikachu whoop like a giant robot's ass.
Dude,
Wait.
one day I'm just gonna like, when I'm in my like 30s, 40s, however old I am, I'm just gonna like spend a whole week or weekend, whole day, just watching all the old animes with a box of tissues next to me so I can wipe away the tears of
Aw.
all the.
Tears of nostalgia.
Bro, I'm already
Dude,
thinking about it.
honestly,
I'm getting in my feels.
wait, hold on, Hunter. I know you got a thing, so we gotta wrap it up here. But this
Yes.
is something we should talk about next time. Nostalgia. This just feels
Yes.
like an interesting rabbit hole to go down.
No,
towards.
man. You know what else we should talk about?
What?
What?
How what is this called? The escape pod is going
Yeah.
up and up.
Dude.
Yeah, we're just heading towards.
Yeah,
the
that's
sun.
why it's called the escape pod. We're trying to, get out of there.
Dude, like we
Yeah.
got an
People
escape
in the
pod.
chat, let us know what you think about this, either in the chat or in our Discord channel. Like,
Or just
let us
DM
know.
us.
Yeah, let us know what you think about like these less or more unorthodox videos where we kind of just discuss, like, try to keep it in the realm of esports, but just try to keep like a line of discussion going, because me and Paul Albert are really passionate about this and really enjoyed just sitting down talking to all of y'all. So yeah, make sure you
Fucking
if,
shit
if
talking games.
if you wish,
No.
yeah, if you wish, give us your feedback. We're super receptive. Um, Looking to take any type of criticism or whatever. We're just looking to make this better.
Yeah, and if you guys want to know more about like the competitive Valorant and competitive Overwatch, we'll be doing that on it's not really on our other podcast. It's more like, yeah, I guess we should put the topic in the stream. But yeah. Hold on. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let's start doing that. This is very impromptu here, but Albert, I'll let you know what the title should be actually before we start.
You see,
like the day before, so that you just
Randy,
know.
okay,
I'll let
no,
you
it's
know.
just Randy's always the one who does it. I'll start. Yeah, but like, this was
Oh.
fun. Yeah, I'll just have to.
Yeah,
check
no, this
here.
was fun. There's really no exit, so people who just start leaving right now, you are you are allowed to leave. There's refreshments at the table in the back. Say hello to Bo before you go.
No, the lecture's over. The lecture's over. Leave.
Yeah, this is hopefully not the last episode. But yeah, that's it.
It's just
Goodbye.
No. Okay.
Cue outro music. Peace.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. That was sick, dude. I liked it. I definitely liked it.
Wait.
This was definitely more fun to do.